Now, it is my great honor to introduce my friend from the state of Pennsylvania, Daryl Metcalfe. Now, Daryl is a founder of State Legislators for Legal Immigration Reform. He's the one that's helping get model legislation. He's the one that's organizing state legislators and across this entire country to unite behind Arizona, to unite behind people that want to take this nation back. So without further ado, let me introduce Daryl Metcalfe, representative state of Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Steve. Good afternoon, fellow patriots. Great to be here with you in Arizona. My wife's also joined me. My wife actually told me a month and a half back when we were watching what was happening here in Arizona. We were working on the model legislation introduced in Pennsylvania. She said, we need to take a vacation in Arizona to support Arizona's efforts. Well, we're not here on vacation. We're here to talk with you all today. We'll be heading back to Pittsburgh tomorrow and then back in session in Harrisburg at the Capitol on Monday, bright and early. But it was important for us to come to Arizona and join my good colleague and friend, Senator Russell Pierce, and join my good friend and colleague, State Representative Steve Sandstrom. We created State Legislators for LegalImmigration.com about 3 years ago now, about 3.5 to 4 years ago that we started working on a project. I've been working with Russell for several years. We've been trying to join states together at the legislative level so that we can stand up for the people as state legislators, tell the feds, work with us, do not work against us, seal the borders, work with us to, through these policies of attrition through enforcement, help make sure that the illegal alien deports themselves.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
And today, I stand here in support of the Arizona legislature, Arizona's governor, and the people of Arizona who believe in the rule of law. Today I stand here in support of the rule of law as an American, as a veteran, as a state legislator sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
And ultimately, today I stand here in support of the U.S. Constitution, that according to Article 4, Section 4, demands that the federal government protect the states from invasion, and they have been AWOL in doing their duty. It is time for the people to rise up. When you hear the stories, when you heard the tears earlier today of the mother that lost a son, when I stood in D.C. with many of my colleagues and heard the story of the young man who was mentioned today who lost his life on the streets of L.A. to an illegal gangbanger that was out to commit a racist killing, Hispanic against black. When you hear those stories, when you hear the story of the 20-year-old named Carly from Pennsylvania who was stabbed to death multiple times by an illegal alien in Pennsylvania, we are losing Americans from Arizona to Pennsylvania, across from sea to shining sea. We are losing Americans at the hands of people who shouldn't be on our soil in the first place. What is the emotion that you feel when you hear of an American who lost their life to an illegal alien? For me, it's outrage. It's outrage that somebody's violated our borders, invaded our nation, and murdered one of our citizens. Well, a feeling that's short to follow that when you recognize the violations of our Constitution that are occurring by this federal government, a federal government that's very quick to impose socialized health care in violation of our Constitution.
Yeah. Yes.
A federal government that is looking the other way on protecting American lives, liberty, and property by sealing our borders and working with state governments and working with local officials to drive the illegal alien back to their homeland through enforcement of our laws, creating attrition through enforcement. The feeling that follows is betrayal. Betrayed by our own government. As a veteran of the United States Army, I'm betrayed by a government by a government that's sworn to take the same oath that every one of us who's been in the military swore, every one of us that's in public office has sworn, and that's to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Right.
We are betrayed by our government.
Yes. Right.
Well, the emotion that should follow for the majority of Americans is one of motivation. You all have been motivated to stand here in this heat today, heat that we don't experience in Pittsburgh. been motivated to stand here for almost 3 hours today, listening to speakers advocating for your values, for your beliefs, for upholding and defending the Constitution, for protecting American lives, liberty, and property. But we have to have America rise up, and that's what one of the former speakers talked about, Phoenix Rising. Thank you to Dan Smeriglio and Dan Amato for their efforts here today, all the way from Eastern Pennsylvania. They actually traveled even farther than I did. But thank you to the guys for putting this together and for everyone that's been involved in their efforts. Great job. But we need rallies. This park should be full. This city should be gridlocked. We should have rallies like this in every state of the nation. Every state of the nation should be having a rally like this that shuts down their capital. American citizens need to rise up and call upon our government to do their duty and protect American lives, liberty, and property. I've seen a lot of signs here today from Montana, from California, folks across the nation. We're here from Pennsylvania. State Legislators for LegalImmigration.com is the organization that we've created. We have 37 states currently represented. We need all 50 states represented, and we need to see a supermajority of legislators joining with us to join with all of you to stand up for America. Like my good friend and colleague has been standing so strong for so many years here in Arizona, Senator Russell Pierce. I want to thank Russell. I want to thank his colleagues in the legislature. I want to thank the governor. And I want to thank the people of Arizona. We have introduced the same legislation in Pennsylvania. We will be leading the charge there. We will be working with state legislators across the nation, like State Representative Steve Sandstrom that you heard from, who's introduced his legislation. State Representative Leo Berman, who I've communicated with this week in Texas, is working on introducing legislation. I know there's some folks here from Texas. We'll be working with my colleagues in the state legislatures across the nation to stand up for American lives, liberty, and property. And I ask you to continue the fight, continue to do the same. Have a great day.